Hello everybody, mega goal number 3, second secondary, and this is unit number 2, crime doesn't pay. This is the third lesson, which is the conversation on page number 24. الدرس الثالث بيكون اليوم بيكون درسنا المحادثة. Let's take a look at the objectives of today's lesson. الأهداف. We should listen to the conversation to answer the given questions, and we should read and give the meaning of the given expressions or the new words. نقرأ ونعطي معاني الكلمات الجديدة أو المصطلحات اللي معطينا إياها. We should as well answer the given questions. بنجاوب على الأسئلة. طبعا الهدف الأول اللي هو راح نسمع عشان المحادثة عشان نجاوب على الأسئلة in order to answer the questions. Now let's move on to page number 24, and before we start I'd like to revise with you the meaning of the title of this unit. براجع معكم عن معنى عنوان الوحدة, which is crime doesn't pay. I have already explained it and I'm gonna do this one more time. Okay, this is an expression which is used to warn people in order not to be involved in crimes, because crimes, they do not have any advantages, and if you commit any crime of any kind, eventually you will be caught. هذا المصطلح يستخدم عشان يحذر الناس من انهم يرتكبون اي نوع من الجرائم، لان مهما ارتكبت من اي نوع من الجرائم راح يتم القبض عليك، وبرضو الجرائم ما فيها اي شيء ايجابي. So this is what they mean by crime doesn't pay. So please move on to page number 24. And before we start, I'd like to give you a brief introduction about what you will be listening to. راح أعطيكم مقدمة عن اللي راح تستمعون له. Right now you will be listening to Albert and Ali are talking about how to avoid being pickpocketed while traveling. راح تستمعون إلى Albert and Ali يعني يتكلمون عن كيفية تجنب إن تسرق جيوبك أو يتم نشلك خلاص أثناء السفر. I'm pretty sure that lots of you have encountered this problem while traveling, which is pickpocketed. أنا متأكدة إن كثير منكم ممكن تعرضوا للنشل أو السرقة أثناء السفر. So you might find this conversation very useful as you listen to Albert and Ali. Now get ready to listen and move to page 24. Please try to follow to the recording as you listen.
Page 24. 4. Conversation. When traveling in cities, I used to worry about being pickpocketed. Then I learned how pickpockets do it. That taught me how to prevent it from happening to me.
So how do they do it?
Well, to begin with, they look for someone on the street who has stopped to look at buildings or people. That's one of the reasons tourists are an easy mark.
Then what happens?
The pickpocket will often pretend to bump into the victim by accident. He might act as if he's dizzy. He may ask you where you're from, act really friendly, and try to shake your hand.
Then what?
At this point, he might pretend to lose his balance and fall against you, like this.
Then what?
That's it. You've let your guard down, and consequently, he's nabbed your wallet.
Are you kidding? Come on, my wallet couldn't possibly be stolen that easily.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Then what's this in my hand?
My wallet!
Okay, so right now you had listened to Albert and Ali. Albert is trying to explain to Ali how to avoid being pickpocketed. And while actually he's doing this, he acted this out. وهو قاعد يشرح لعلي كيف يتجنب النشل أو سرقة الجيوب، برضو قاعد يمثل. Now I have highlighted the order of how to avoid being pickpocketed. طبعا at first he said that tourists are an easy mark, which means they are likely victims. If you're traveling عادة السياح يكونون ضحايا سهلين أو مثلا ضحايا محتملين للنشالين. First of all, they on the street they look at someone who has stopped to look at building or people. يشوفون إن مثلا شخص توقف عشان ينظر إلى مثلا المباني أو الأشخاص. خلاص and after that they pretend to bump into the victim by accident. يحاولون يمثلون كأنهم يصطدمون بالضحية بشكل عرضي يعني بشكل غير متعمد. They might be as well pretend to be dizzy, ممكن يشوفون نفسهم كأنهم دايخين. And then they might act friendly toward you, يمكن يحاولون يكونون لطفاء باتجاهك. So they might ask you where are you from, or as well they might try to shake hands with you. ممكن يحاولون يصافحونك، ممكن يحاولون برضو انهم يسألونك من اين انت. After that you start to let your guard down. Before قبل مفروض he might pretend to lose balance and fall against you. يمكن يحاول انه يمثل انه هو بيسقط عليك او بيغمى عليه. And afterwards you start to let your guard down. ممكن تحس انه خلاص ما تكون حذر بما فيه الكفاية. at this point في هذه المرحلة you are nabbed or stolen. انت يكون سرقوك يعني خلاص. So I've highlighted the order of how they do this, الترتيب اللي يقومون فيها. And it seems that Albert is acting this out and he has nabbed Ali's wallet. سرق يعني مو سرق بس هو يحاول يمثل انه هو سرق محفظة علي. And Ali, it seems that he doesn't believe that he did this, مو قاعد يصدق, but actually he did. Albert did, and he has Ali's wallet in his hand. محفظة علي في يده. Now let's move on. I hope that you understood what the conversation is about. أتمنى أنكم فهمتوا وش تتكلم عن المحادثة. Now let me explain to you a couple of the new words and the real talk expression that were mentioned in the conversation اللي ذكر في المحادثة. So pickpocketed, which means yes, as it's clear here, and as I said previously, I'm pretty sure that lots of you have encountered this problem. Okay, pickpocketed. Now as for the real talk expressions, he said that tourists are easy mark, which means likely victims. By accident, which means not on purpose, they might bump into you by accident. Now, this is when you let your guard down, which means not to be careful enough. Then they will nabbed or stolen your wallet. Oops, sorry. So here, when Ali is asking Albert if he's kidding with him, so are you kidding? Are you joking? He said, come on, please be serious with me, come on. I'm positive, which means I'm certain, I'm positive, I'm 100% sure. Now, you have learned these real talk expressions, and I hope that you memorize them by heart, because these real talk expressions, they might help you to sound like native speaker. هذه real talk expression بعض المصطلحات ممكن تساعدكم انكم تكونوا مثل متحدثين اللغة الإنجليزية الأصلية. So please try to memorize them by heart and put them in your daily conversation practice. حاولوا تحفظونهم وتخلونهم في محادثاتكم, because this will improve your speaking skills, and as well you will sound more like a native speaker. Now before we move on to the question, I'd like to discuss this with you as it's mentioned in your book. So right now, when you had listened to the conversation, Albert was trying to give the order or the consequence order of how pickpocketed is done. كيف يتم النشل, وطبعا لازم يكون في 1 2 3 4 consequent step يعني أشياء يعني بالترتيب. He said to begin with, once, at this point, consequently. Okay, so these are the words that he used in order to explain to Ali how this done in order. Okay, so this is some of the words that you may use when you want to explain something which is done in order بالترتيب. يعني مثلا تبغى تشرح شيء بالترتيب. Now let's move on to about the conversation. We have a couple of questions. You may go to your book on page number 24 and try to answer these questions by yourself. I'm gonna answer one question with you, and I believe, and I'm pretty sure, I'm positive that you are capable of answering the rest of the questions by yourself because you have understood the lesson. أنا متأكدة إنكم تقدرون تجاوبون على بقية الأسئلة، لأني راح أجاوب على سؤال واحد معاكم، والبقية أنا متأكدة إن you can do it by yourself. Now the first question is asking you about what crime are the people talking about. What is the crime Ali and Albert are talking about? Yes, they are talking about pickpocketed, right? Yes. Now we have reached right now the end of the lesson. I hope that you found it very beneficial and you have enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and leave me a thumb up. And I'd like to ask you if you have encountered being pickpocketed while traveling. Can you tell me the story and share the story with us? Please leave it in the comment box below. إذا كانت عندكم تجربة للنشل أو للسرقة، أو إنك تعرضت للنشل أو السرقة وإنت مسافر، ممكن تشاركونا القصة. Please try to write it in English. حاولوا تكتبونها بالإنجليزي and leave it in the comment box below. Till next time, have a good one.